Right now, another round of heavy snow and extreme cold is on the way starting today. Chris is tracking several alert days in a very challenging winter forecast. Plus, caring for your car can be extra challenging during large storms like the one on the way for us in Wisconsin tonight. We'll share some hacks to survive winter driving. And some good news to share for Gilda's. We'll tell you when the nonprofit will move back to its Middleton clubhouse almost 6 months after record flooding.
This is News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this January 27th. I'm Josh Bretter with meteorologist Chris Reese. The calm before the storm, and I'm hearing you have a little updated snow graphic, too.
Yeah, that's going to come up in Maine weather.
Okay.
We have fine-tuned the snowfall forecast going into today, but in the meantime, perspective matters. We are 11 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday. How about that? So temperatures on the warm swing, 17 degrees warmer as you work your way over towards Watertown. Hey, that's a beautiful sunrise, by the way. But there's beauty in the cold because the temperature still 9 degrees below zero this morning. Not much of a wind chill, but still a little one with winds out of the west and northwest at 3 miles per hour. Actual air temperatures, though, negative 21 in Lone Rock right now, 25 below as you work your way towards Black River Falls, and it looks like the only city without a negative, Milwaukee. How about that? General Mitchell Airfield right on the water, so that makes a little sense that they're going to be warmer. However, we have winter storm warnings for the entire area right now going into effect at 6 o'clock tonight and lasting through 6 o'clock Monday night. Now, it's not going to be snowing through 6 o'clock Monday night, but as that snow comes to an end around lunchtime tomorrow, we're talking wind gusts of 35 to 40 miles per hour, and it's going to blow a lot of that snow around and make travel hazardous even after the snow has stopped falling just because of the wind. So be mindful of that. 4 alert days right now: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday for the snow. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the cold. Wind chills still possible, as cold as negative 55, if not colder. One of the models just looked at came out with a wind chill of negative 72.
Oh my.
I think that's a little bit on the extreme side, but things are certainly looking some of the coldest temperatures we've seen since 1996.
I feel like we've been kind of a broken record the last few days because it's like every day it's the snow and then the cold, the snow and then the cold.
It's raising awareness because I mean, if you don't take care of yourself in this cold, it can be fatal.
All right, well, we'll look forward to that latest snow track coming up in a little
sounds
bit.
Good.
Thanks, Chris. We begin with a warning from police this morning: slow down and drive safely. Here's a live look at the Beltline this morning, where Madison police say they responded to numerous crashes overnight. Most of the crashes or slide-offs happened near Gammon Road. They say ice formed on the roads after Saturday's snowfall, which caused cars to slide. Officers want to warn all drivers the road is still icy and will continue to stay that way as temperatures remain well below freezing. Remember, as the temperatures continue to drop into this week, many shelters in our area are extending hours and providing transportation in between day and night shelters. They're also making sure no one is denied service. Police and city officials will be on high alert looking for people out in the cold, encouraging you to do the same. Madison's libraries are a free public space if you're trying to escape the elements this weekend. Here are some of the other places people can go to get out of the cold in Dane County. The Beacon on East Wash opens at 7:30 during cold weather and closes at 5. Porch Light is taking people in earlier than normal at the men's shelter starting at 5 p.m. The Salvation Army will begin accepting women and families starting at 4. And just announced this weekend, First United Methodist Church in downtown Madison is opening an emergency day warming center for all of next week starting tomorrow. Families and women experiencing homelessness are welcome to go there from 8 in the morning until 4. Madison Metro is also offering warming buses all weekend at their 4 transfer points, giving people the option to stay out of the cold. City officials say they are considering extending these services into the week ahead as well. Several places in Rock County are also offering relief from the cold. The Hedberg Public Library in Janesville is one of several warming shelters across the county. Others include senior centers, the Janesville Mall, and the Brodhead Police Department. Librarian Michelle Dennis calls the library the perfect place to warm up.
We as a library can offer physical safety. It's warm here, it's out of the wind. We've got food available for low prices downstairs.
For a full list of warming shelters in our area, you can visit our website, channel3000.com. With another round of heavy snow on the way, dealing with it can be frustrating, especially when it comes to caring for our cars. Our Jamie Perez has some hacks to keep in mind during winter weather.
Well, so far this winter, we have been pretty spoiled, to say the least. We haven't had too cold of temperatures, and we haven't had too much snow on the ground. But you can see from just looking outside that that is not the case anymore. So my job today is to show you some winter hacks, and we're going to do that right from our parking lot. Now, one of the first things that we all deal with in the morning is our cars. And first things first, we gotta get all this ice off the windshield. Most of us usually can get an ice scraper out of our cars. Well, if you do not have one of these ice picks, you can always use a credit card. Literally just take it to your windshield. Works like a charm. The next order of business is dealing with your side view mirrors. You have a plastic bag just lying around. You can wrap the plastic bag around the mirror, and just like that, it's now protected from the ice. Next, I want to talk to you about your tires. If you are ever stuck in a situation where your tires are in a spinning rotation, you can't get out of the snow, all you have to do is grab the mat from inside of the car, place this mat down, reverse your car, and voila, you're unstuck. All right, and the last thing that I want to show you is how to take care of your windshield wipers and keep them from getting frozen. Now, many of us know the trick of keeping your windshield wipers up to keep them from getting frozen to your windshield, but if you use something like a sock or a glove and you stick it right to the end of that, it's kind of a cute way to keep that frost from accumulating at the end there. Of course, those are just some tips, but we wanted the experts to weigh in as well.
We do recommend that people have an emergency kit in their vehicle that will help them out in situations like that. Having a small shovel that you can dig out your wheels. We recommend having some kitty litter, particularly non-clumping kitty litter, that can help increase your traction.
Of course, those are all good tips to remember. I hope you took some notes on all of those things so you can stay as safe as you can in driving in these conditions. Reporting from our parking lot, I'm Jamie Perez for WISC News 3.
A full how-to list that Jamie talked about can be found on the Channel 3000 mobile app. As we continue to follow the storm into the overnight hours and early morning, be sure to download our Channel 3000 First Alert weather and traffic app. Stay safe and informed with News 3. While we're talking about freezing temperatures and snow, some people are still recovering from last summer's flooding. It has now been almost 5 months since that flooding forced Gilda's in Middleton out of their clubhouse. But they now have an official reopening date set. Gilda's Clubhouse has been serving those with cancer in the community for almost 10 years. This past summer, the flooding in Middleton left them with 10 feet of water in their basement. Everything in the basement ended up a total loss for the nonprofit, and they had to close while they rebuilt. But starting March 4th, that space will be open again.
For us to be able to say, almost 6 months to the day, we're going to be back in the clubhouse and up and running. We've had programs offered at different community locations throughout this time that we've been closed. And now we're finally going to be back home. And that's exactly what it feels like. We're finally coming back home.
Gilda's staff has moved back into the clubhouse while contractors work to finish the basement and second floor. A ribbon cutting ceremony will be held on March 14th. It is 6:38 this morning. The first Marquette Law School of the year shows strong support for some of Governor Tony Evers' top priorities, including his push to expand Medicaid throughout the state. The poll released this week shows 55% of voters surveyed support raising the minimum wage. Governor Evers has said he will provide a pathway for raising it in his budget. That's also where the governor says he'll provide a first step toward legalizing medical marijuana statewide. The poll shows 59% back full legalization. Well, if you're a parent, your home is likely filled to the brim or was at one point with stuffed animals. Usually your kiddos won't let them go, maybe simply because they're a source of comfort. Well, there's a Baraboo family hoping to recreate that feeling for children in need in their community. That's why the Gorder family has been making stuffed animals together for the past 8 years around the dinner table.
We wanted to do something different. We wanted the kids to do something for kids so that they could understand that there's kids in the community that need some help too, and maybe just need to know that others are thinking about them.
Later in this show, Charlotte Deleste will tell us how this stuffed animal project got its start and how many people they're hoping to impact year after year. Catch her Do Something Good story just after 7:30. Just about 6:40 is your time right now, and we are tracking more heavy snow headed our way tonight with even more dangerous cold behind it. Here's a live look outside as we wake up on this Sunday morning. A beautiful shot of downtown Madison there with the Capitol. Pretty quiet out there for now. Chris has his latest storm track and snow totals coming up in his first alert forecast. And an extinction alert, spelling bad news for many morning people. We'll have the warning about coffee and the role climate change plays in it when News 3 This Morning Sunday continues.
Winter storm warnings have been issued for the entire area. They were issued yesterday afternoon. They still stand strong for Madison, over towards Milwaukee, back towards Platteville, up towards Wautoma and the Dells. Truly, all of us are under a winter storm warning right now. We zoom things out. That's most of Wisconsin. All of Wisconsin is under some sort of winter advisory. Winter weather advisories across the northern tier. Those winter storm warnings go back through Minneapolis and then towards the Dakotas. They become blizzard warnings. That's where the wind is likely going to be stronger. But we're starting to track this storm as it comes together right now. It is diving southward out of Canada, and you're going to see that region of low pressure essentially track south and right through the northern Illinois border, putting us on the northern fringe of that and leading to heavy snow. So with that being said, let's start with what's out there right now. Another gorgeous sunrise, but you know what they say about red skies at morning? Sailor's warning. Temperature still on the colder side though, 9 degrees below zero. We do have those winds coming out of the west-northwest at 3 miles per hour. That's a light wind, so the wind chill is not a huge factor this morning, but it is certainly going to be chilly out there when it comes to the wind chill. These are actual air temperatures though, 9 below here in Madison, 21 below zero as you work your way over towards Lone Rock, one of the colder spots right now. Same in Black River Falls. A warmer spot, Milwaukee. they are actually at 0, so the temperatures aren't below 0. But going throughout the day, we'll see those temperatures warm up towards 1 degree by lunchtime, trying to top out anywhere from about 4 towards 6 degrees. The thing is, cloud cover is going to be on the increase. We'll likely see that snow starting to move in, especially as we get you towards the evening as well. And here's essentially how that's going to play out. Towards midnight, that's where you're going to see the heaviest snow starting to move into town. And that heavy snow, folks, we're talking snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour will continue from midnight all the way into the morning rush hour as well, and then lingering throughout lunchtime. We'll see some of that light to moderate snow before things finally do begin to wind down for us. Now, when all is said and done, we're looking at 8 to 12 inches of snow from Madison and points northward up towards Watoma. Down to the south and west, we're looking at about 6 to 10 inches of snow to 3 to 6 inches of snow. And it's not because it's not going to snow harder here. It's just going to be a little bit warmer in the south and west, so that snow is not going to be able to accumulate as fast. Lake-enhanced snows continue up towards Fond du Lac, down through Sheboygan. It's very possible to see over a foot of snow in some of those places. Then comes the wind. We are talking wind gusts at 2 a.m. around 20 to 25 miles per hour. As we get you towards rush hour, approaching 30 miles per hour. And then as the heaviest snow begins to move out, but still some snow falling, those wind gusts could be upwards of 35 miles per hour. This is going to blow a lot of that snow around. And then comes the cold. Beyond that, we're talking wind chills upwards of -55 to perhaps even -60 as we go towards the end of the week. In fact, by Wednesday morning, a lot of the kids curious if they're going to have school. If they do, frostbite is something that could set in about 5 minutes. So certainly going to be a brutal forecast there as we go through the next 7 days. Wednesday, a high of -6, but a low that morning 24 degrees below 0. We'll have to watch this snow to see if we have to alter those numbers down. Warming up towards the end of the forecast, but still staying cold. A few chances of snow again towards Monday and Tuesday of next week, Josh. So we are certainly busy here in the weather department, but we're going to keep everybody up to date on what they need to know.
Yeah, certainly a good warning to stay tuned to that forecast.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Chris, thank you. A new report says the worth of the world's 26 richest people is equal to the total wealth of the world's 3.8 billion poorest people. That data from Oxfam International says the world has a new record number of billionaires at 2,208, while the poorest people are only getting poorer. The report was released just ahead of the World Economic Forum. A majority of the most wealthy people are Americans. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Mark Zuckerberg are collectively worth $357 billion, according to Forbes. To help stem the problem, Oxfam recommended raising rates on personal income and corporate taxes, along with providing free health care and investing in public services that benefit women and girls. New research out of the UK shows the world's most popular coffee species are now at risk of going extinct, in part because of climate change. The report shows 60% of coffee types in the wild are at risk because of things like deforestation, droughts, and plant disease. Scientists say governments and commercial producers need to increase protections for coffee species and stockpile more seeds. One of the most popular kinds of coffee, Arabica, is already on the endangered species list. We've got an exciting update for Chicago food lovers. Portillo's says it will be opening its new Madison location on March 4th. The company announced last April it was coming to Madison. Their construction on Easttown Boulevard started in July. The Chicago-born chain is known for its hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, and chocolate cake. The Madison location says it will be serving a Wisconsin-exclusive, the Badger Brat. 6:48 is your time. Still ahead this morning, the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra kicked off its Masterwork series this weekend. We'll tell you about one special soloist and what sets her apart from the other musicians on stage. Keep watching News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
What if
A beautiful sunrise indeed right now, but temperature still very much on the cold side at 9 degrees below zero. Winds out of the west and northwest at 3 miles per hour. That means we're not being heavily influenced by a wind chill right now. In fact, the wind chill right now in Madison is the air temperature, one of the colder wind chills. -27 in Wautoma, but that's also their air temperature as well. Now, as we go through the morning, I do think we'll begin to see those temperatures range from -7 towards -2, eventually topping out right around 6 degrees above zero this afternoon. Clouds are going to be on the increase, though. Our next winter storm is moving in. We do have winter storm warnings for all of the area from tonight into Monday night as our next system brings some of that heaviest snow again through the morning rush hour tomorrow. Of course, we're going to be breaking down the snowfall forecast and impacts a little bit later in this show, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. It is 6:53 this morning. The Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra's 5-part Masterworks series features world-renowned musicians, but one of the soloists on stage is setting herself apart from the others. Photojournalist Melissa Bailey has her story.
It takes such refinement.
Being a concert soloist is not an easy feat.
The polish to go to this level is a deep dive on every phrase, on every note, on every intonation, on every rhythm.
And it's not every day you see a 12-year-old in that position.
I met Miriam 3 years ago in the summer at a festival in Ohio and listened to her perform Tchaikovsky at the time, and I was quite astounded at the level of musicianship.
Miriam K. Smith picked up the cello at age 4 and started touring by age 8. She's performed with the Cincinnati and Louisville orchestras, as well as concerts on the square in front of tens of thousands of people last summer. It's clear, stage fright isn't an issue here.
I feel ready, I feel excited, I'm just always so excited to play. Music really controls my actions when I hear it. It makes me happy, makes me sad. It's just a wonderful thing.
After 3 to 4 hours of practice every day,
And at some point, the music is mastered, so you can forget about the notes and just express and engage. And that's probably one of the rare things about her, is that she's able to have that emotional maturity to even do that, to connect with audiences like that.
and if you're impressed by that, check out her other extracurriculars.
I do ballet on the side, and I also do martial arts. Ballet gives you an active feel after you've been sitting down for 4 hours and practicing.
And martial arts?
It gives a toughness in my playing.
People are going to be absolutely amazed at the level of musicianship from one so young. So I would safely say she is a child prodigy.
Dad says she's still a kid.
She has to clean her room. She has to obey her mom and dad. She has to do her math homework. She has to write her papers. And she's also balancing this performance career, and it's a lot of fun for her right now.
Even as a preteen, she seems to have her goals all figured out.
To be a professional cello soloist and to travel around the world and bless people with my music.
And I think you're going to be seeing her in the news for years to come from this, so I think we're in history in the making.
Melissa Bailey reporting right there. She now has a new album out called Ignite. You can read more about it on her website, miriamksmith.com. It is 6:56 this morning. There's a full hour of real news ahead on News 3 This Morning Sunday. Well, the day's top stories just after 7, including the latest winter storm track tonight. But first, here's a preview of what's to come later this morning on an all-new For the Record.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Neil Heinen. Today on For the Record, we'll update you on an effort to create the largest health database ever. UW-Madison's one of 10 academic healthcare institutions in the country invited to participate in collectively recruiting more than 1 million participants in the interest of speeding up research to prevent and treat disease. I'll be talking with all of us, co-principal investigator Dr. Dorothy Farrar-Edwards and research project manager Tricia Denman, and that's coming up this morning at 10:30 on WISC.
This year's Super Bowl will be a clash of the coasts, but there's one thing faithful ad watchers won't see during next week's game.
This is News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Good morning and welcome back on this Sunday, January 27th. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking our next winter storm moving in later today. But first, Madison police have a warning for all drivers today. Slow down, especially on the Beltline. Here's a live look this morning. Police say they responded to several crashes and slide-offs overnight. They say ice formed on the roads after Saturday's snowfall, which caused cars to slide. Officers want to warn all drivers all roads are still icy and will stay that way, with temperatures remaining well below freezing. New this morning, President Trump is warning lawmakers that 21 days goes very quickly in a message on Twitter, urging them to come up with a border security plan that includes funding for a border wall soon. The message comes 5 weeks after a battle over that budget put the brakes on the federal government. If Congress and the White House can't agree on a security plan in just under 3 weeks, the government will shut down once again. Portillo's says it will be opening its new Madison location on March 4th. The company announced last April it was coming to Madison. Their construction on Easttown Boulevard started in July. The Chicago-born chain is known for its hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, and chocolate cake. The Madison location says it will be serving a Wisconsin exclusive, the Badger Brat. Just about 7:02 is your time right now. Meteorologist Chris Reese has the latest storm track later today. Chris, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Josh. We're tracking the forecast, and unfortunately, it is not a Wisconsin exclusive. All of the upper Midwest is going to be getting hit hard with the winter storm, along with some bitter cold. But on the bright side, temperatures this morning are 10 degrees warmer than they were at this time yesterday. Take it or leave it. It's still pretty cold out there. The temperature 11 degrees below zero right now. We do have those winds out of the west and northwest at 5 miles per hour. That'll create a little bit of a wind chill, folks, but those winds are fairly light, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. Other air temperatures 13 below as you work your way towards Janesville, Lone Rock, and Boscobel, both at 20 below. Black River Falls, the temperature negative 27 right now. But attention, at least right now, is more so on the winter storm than it is the cold that's going to come after the winter storm. That's when our attention will shift. But for now, winter storm warnings are in play for everyone. Everyone is under that winter storm warning from 6 o'clock tonight through 6 o'clock on Monday. Now, the snow will not last until 6 o'clock on Monday, but you're talking 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts on the backside of the storm tomorrow. And that means even after the snow stops falling, you are going to see a lot of blowing snow create hazardous driving. So that's the reason that winter storm warning does extend into tomorrow night. But 6 to 12 inches of snow is possible. We do have an alert day for your Monday, along with Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for cold that we have not seen around here in more than 20 years.
All right, Chris, thank you. With that heavy snow on the way tomorrow morning and dangerous wind chills by Wednesday, we're learning more about how school districts decide to delay or cancel classes. Right around 50 districts made that determination Friday, with wind chills approaching negative 30. Several years ago, schools in our area worked with the National Weather Service and health experts to decide a wind chill of negative 35 is the cutoff for class. Last year, Madison schools changed their threshold to negative 25. There are a handful of places across Dane County where people can go to get out of the cold. The Beacon on East Washington opens at 7:30 during cold weather and closes at 5 p.m. Porch Light is taking people in earlier than normal at the men's shelter starting at 5. The Salvation Army will begin accepting women and families starting at 4 p.m. and just announced this weekend, First United Methodist Church in downtown Madison is opening an emergency day warming center for all of next week starting tomorrow. Families and women experiencing homelessness are welcome to go there from 8 in the morning until 4. In Rock County, the Hedberg Public Library in Janesville is one of several warming shelters. Others include senior centers, the Janesville Mall, and the Brodhead Police Department. You can find a full list of warming centers on our Channel 3000 mobile app. As we prepare for more snow and even colder temperatures this week, local mechanics say our cars need to be prepared too. This includes making sure cars are up to date on their scheduled maintenance and have plenty of tire tread and battery life left. It doesn't hurt to have an emergency kit with tools along with other winter essentials just in case. For drivers that would rather leave an emergency situation to the pros, a charged cell phone and portable charger are also good ideas.
The best advice for any kind of severe weather is be prepared. To be prepared, to have your vehicle prepared. Hopefully you've already had scheduled maintenance done, have had a multi-point inspection, know the condition that your tires are in, the battery's been tested, you know that it's good, your lights and everything, you know that they work and you're going to be visible to other people.
Officials say if something does happen out on the road, to make sure you put your personal safety first and stay inside your car, away from passing vehicles. While we're now talking about freezing temperatures and snow, some people are still recovering from last summer's flooding. It's been almost 6 months since flooding forced Gilda's in Middleton out of their clubhouse. But they now have an official reopening date set. Gilda's clubhouse has been serving those with cancer in the community for almost 10 years. This past summer, the flooding in Middleton left them with 10 feet of water in their basement. Everything in the basement ended up a total loss for the nonprofit, and they had to close while they rebuilt. But starting March 4th, that space will be open again.
For us to be able to say, almost 6 months to the day, we're going to be back in the clubhouse and up and running. We've had programs offered at different community locations throughout this time that we've been closed. And now we're finally going to be back home. And that's exactly what it feels like. We're finally coming back home.
Gilda's staff has moved back into the clubhouse while contractors work to finish the basement and second floor. A ribbon cutting ceremony will be held on March 14th. Right now, $500,000 in grants is on the way to expand Dane County trails for bike enthusiasts. The county is putting that money towards connecting the Glacial Drumlin State Trail to the village of Cambridge and McCarthy County Park in Cottage Grove. There are also plans to extend Blackhawk Path in Shorewood Hills and connect the Upper Yahara River Trail to Token Creek County Park. We're learning more about the $14 million in upgrades coming to the 4-H fairgrounds in Rock County. This comes after the board chairman's decision to keep those fairgrounds where they are. The Janesville Gazette reports plans include building a new and bigger Craig Center with nearby pavilions for food trucks and vendors. There are also plans to build a new grandstand instead of the flammable wooden one there now, and building a more efficient parking layout. The work will take 8 years to complete, and you have the chance to share your thoughts at a public input meeting expected to happen at the end of February or early March. 7:07 this morning. If you're in the market for a new home sometime this year, there's some good news for you. Experts say the housing market might be turning around just in time. The National Association of Realtors reports home sales across the country cratered last month, with price growth dropping to the lowest level in more than 6 years. Mortgage rates and price increases over the years could be to blame for the sales. Wisconsin home sales did dip around 2%, just slightly off the record sales pace in 2017. The median price of a home for 2018 in the state is $184,000. That's up 7% from the year before. Well, the Super Bowl is just 1 week away, and this morning we have a preview of the stadium hosting the big game. This is Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, and it's already all dressed up for Super Bowl 53. The stadium opened in 2017 and it cost $1.6 billion to build. It has a retractable roof and the world's largest video board at 63,000 square feet. It also has a Chick-fil-A restaurant, but that of course is closed on Sundays and will be closed on Super Bowl Sunday. Remember, you can catch the Pats take on the Rams next Sunday, February 3rd at 5:30 right here on Channel 3. The Packers didn't even make the playoffs this season, but linebacker Clay Matthews is going to be featured in a Verizon commercial airing Super Bowl Sunday. Rather than selling you on a new phone or unlimited data plan, Verizon's highlighting the importance of first responders. In Matthews' commercial, he talks with his mom about an accident he had as a kid where he flipped over the handlebars of his scooter and landed on his face on the asphalt. He suffered a concussion and had swelling in the brain. His mom thought the worst, but says the men and women who came to help got them through it.
They were incredible. I had a hug. I had them talking to me. If ever I could thank them and tell them, gosh, you know, thank you for being so sensitive and walking me through this, because it was a scary thing.
Matthews offers his thanks in the commercial as well, calling firefighters, paramedics, and police officers true heroes. For some, those game day commercials are the best part of Super Bowl Sunday, but as Mark Strassman reports, one controversial ad won't be seen this year.
Hello, Super Bowl! Super Bowl 53 will be a clash of the coasts. The New England Patriots against the Los Angeles Rams. Incomplete. In both Massachusetts and California, their home states, the use of medical or recreational marijuana is legal. Acreage Holdings, a so-called seed-to-sale cannabis company, wanted to air an ad about the benefits of medical marijuana during the game. CBS rejected it. George Allen is the company's president.
And they said, we're not taking advertisements for cannabis, and I think it was categorical.
Currently, 33 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized medical marijuana. The NFL bans marijuana for players. But in a violent sport, surveys show a majority of players support using medical marijuana, including Nate Jackson, a retired tight end with the Denver Broncos. He was flattened in a game in 2008. A team doctor prescribed Vicodin, an opioid, for his pain. Jackson smoked marijuana instead and wants the NFL to change its policy.
You know, it's not about getting high. It's not about becoming a stoner. The NFL doesn't have to worry about that. You know, the football is a lot worse for them than marijuana.
Arthur Blank owns the Atlanta Falcons. We asked him whether the league should change its marijuana policy.
I probably would not be in favor of it because I'm concerned about the gateway effect that it has on other drugs.
We asked to see the ad, but Acreage Holdings didn't provide it. CBS said in a statement, under our broadcast standards, we do not currently accept cannabis-related advertising. The NFL also has the right to reject Super Bowl commercials. Mark Strassman, CBS News, New York.
If you're more excited about puppies than players on game day, this year's Puppy Bowl is for you. The annual event airs on Animal Planet each Super Bowl Sunday, and the restaurant By Rock on Madison's north side will be hosting a Puppy Bowl watch party to fundraise for the Dane County Humane Society. 10% of sales that night go toward the Humane Society, but due to health codes, you can't bring your pups to partake in the fun. The Puppy Bowl starts at 2 p.m. next Sunday. 7:12 is your time. Chris is tracking a week full of alert days with nearly a foot of snow and plummeting temperatures on the way once again. But there's one group of people happy about this wintry blast. We'll have more local news when News 3 This Morning Sunday returns.
Winter storm warnings go into effect at 6 o'clock tonight. They are going to last all the way until 6 o'clock Monday night. Now, the snow will come to an end before that, but the winds are going to pick up after the snow, and that is going to lead to even more hazardous travel. But those winter storm warnings include nearly all of Wisconsin except for the extreme northern sliver there. Under winter weather advisories, we go back through the Twin Cities, winter storm warnings, and blizzard warnings as you work your way up towards the Dakotas. Let that be a testament of some of the wind that we could see, especially as we get into tomorrow. Now, we're tracking this system right now. Of course, we are clear, but some of that snow already starting to fly across parts of North Dakota, and we're going to watch this radar become more impressive as we go into the afternoon and evening, and watch this system essentially pivot across the upper Midwest. Let's start with what's out there right now. Of course, we do have the clear skies. Temperatures right around 11 degrees below zero at this hour, and winds coming out of the west and northwest at 5 miles per hour. And that will create a little bit of a wind chill, but not the worst thing in the world, especially compared to what's coming up later in the forecast. Janesville, you're 13 degrees below zero right now. Black River Falls at 28 below, and all of us are below zero across south central Wisconsin this morning. But temperatures will get a little bit better towards the afternoon. We'll be near 1 by lunchtime, topping out between 4 and 6. But then that cloud cover is going to be on the increase, and that's when that snow is going to begin to work its way into town. So you'll notice right around the evening time, say between 7 to 9, those snowflakes will begin to start flying. A lot of that heaviest snow is going to move in right around midnight and just persist through the morning rush hour. This is when we could truly see the bulk of a lot of the accumulation, as snowfall rates will be upwards of 1 to 2 inches per hour during this time. As we go beyond the rush hour and then towards your lunchtime, we will still have some light to moderate snow around that could put down some additional accumulation. But when all is said and done, we're looking at 8 to 12 inches from Madison and points towards the north, 6 to 10 back towards the south, and eventually 3 to 6 near Dubuque. Now, the reason those snowfall totals are lower in the south is not because it won't snow as hard. It's just going to be a little bit warmer down there. And so when the temperatures are colder, that snow can accumulate a lot faster. Lake-enhanced snows as you work your way towards the lakeshore, that's where it's possible to see as much as 12 to 18 inches of snow. So there are going to be a lot of high snowfall reports that come in from this, along with high wind gust reports. This is at 2:30 in the morning. We're talking wind gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour, so not the biggest deal in the world. During your rush hour, wind gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour. Now, that's not blizzard conditions, but it is near blizzard conditions. You are still talking about blowing snow and whiteout conditions as the snowfall comes down at 1 to 2 inches per hour during this time. It's going to make travel tomorrow morning extremely dangerous as you head to work. Now, the snow will begin to wind down around lunch, so this is not the heaviest snow falling, but you're still looking at wind gusts upwards of 30 to 35 miles per hour. And that's just going to blow any fresh powder across the roads and create even more hazardous travel before the snow begins to wind down Monday night. But let's talk about how much time it's going to take to get frostbite if you're outside after that. We're starting out with Tuesday morning. Frostbite times a little over 10 minutes. But as we head towards Wednesday morning, frostbite times will be in quicker than 5 minutes. And that's even going to lead into Wednesday afternoon. You're talking frostbite times of 5 to 10 minutes. And then by Thursday morning, those frostbite times will be back down in that 5-minute range. So, of course, we are talking some dangerous cold that a lot of us have not seen around here since the 90s or even the 80s. 4 alert days in your forecast. Things do get better towards next weekend with some sunshine. By Monday and Tuesday next week, Josh, we have more chances for snow, but right now the focus is tomorrow or tonight's winter storm and then the following cold.
Yeah, I see some cities are already issuing a winter or a snow emergency, including Sun Prairie, Chris. So.
Oh, yeah, and more of those cities will likely do that as we go throughout the day.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
We have been sharing your morning, or we've been asking you to share your morning with us, and David emailed us this picture calling it a little color. A beautiful shot there. We've had some beautiful sunrises with these cold mornings lately. Thank you so much for sharing, David. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. Snow lovers are rejoicing this weekend. Ski hills are enjoying fresh powder, and all of Dane County's snowmobile trails are now open. This is the first time there has been at least 6 inches of snow and steady below freezing temperatures for the county to open the trails. But county leaders warn not all trails will be in the best shape yet. It is 7:20 right now, and still ahead this morning, we'll tell you how you can help students across the area set fitness goals and stick to them. Plus, the annual Susan G. Komen Walk is going more than pink. We'll tell you about the big changes coming for the biggest breast cancer fundraiser in the area. This is News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Temperatures 11 degrees below zero this morning. Winds out of the west and northwest at 5 miles per hour. Now, there is a little bit of a wind chill with that at 23 degrees below zero right now. The Dells 8 degrees below zero. But as those winds do relax, or if you're sheltered from the wind, it won't feel all that bad compared to what's to come down the pike. Now, as we go throughout the morning, temperatures do begin to rebound a little bit from -7 towards -2, and then topping out around 6 degrees this afternoon. Now, we do have winter storm warnings in effect for all of us. That is as the next round of heavy snow will be moving into the picture. Some of that heaviest snow will come through the morning rush hour. Tomorrow, we are talking snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour, along with gusty winds, and that's going to make travel tomorrow morning extremely difficult for a lot of folks. But that snow will come to an end just beyond the lunchtime hours tomorrow.
All right, Chris, thank you. If you're one of the thousands of people raising money for breast cancer research every year at Race for the Cure, there are some pretty big changes you should know about this year. Susan G. Komen announced this week they're making a statewide name change to the More Than Pink Walk. They're hoping the pink symbolizes awareness. More than pink means action. Another big difference this year, organizers are getting rid of the separate time to run element. Officials hope to create a greater sense of community for everyone who attends. Madison's More Than Pink Walk is happening June 8th at the Alliant Energy Center. If you'd like to register, there is a big early bird discount now through March 17th. You can sign up for only $10 at colemanwisconsin.org. The Milton School District is looking for people interested in serving on a new wellness committee. The Janesville Gazette reports they're going to focus on encouraging healthy eating, physical activity, and overall wellness. You'd be working alongside health and gym teachers. If you're interested, you can give the district a call. More than 6,000 students across the state are trained in CPR. CPR in schools started back in 2016 with the goal of making sure Wisconsin schools offer high-quality CPR training for their students. When someone has a heart attack, their chance of survival falls 10% with every minute until CPR starts. Unfortunately, the grant supporting that program is ending soon, but that money helped more than 330 schools train their students in those life-saving measures. Jefferson County will be hosting free Narcan training for the community. There will be 4 overdose prevention trainings in February and March. The trainings will be led by the staff of the AIDS Resource Center of Wisconsin. Here's a look at the locations and dates where the trainings will be taking place. Family members, friends, and community members are encouraged to attend. According to state health officials, in recent years, the rate of prescription painkiller overdoses has increased by 238% among Wisconsin residents between 10 and 24 years old. 7:26 is your time right now, and still to come, we'll have the warning from Madison Police to all drivers this weekend. And we'll introduce you to a Columbia County music teacher who was influenced by one of the most well-known band directors in Madison. The news is back on News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
This is News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Good morning and welcome back on this Sunday, January 26th. I'm Josh Breiter, just after 7:30 right now. Meteorologist Chris Reese will have the latest on that winter storm heading into Wisconsin and the extreme cold behind it in just a little bit. But first, let's get you caught up on what's making news this morning. And Madison police have a warning for all drivers this morning. Slow down, especially on the Beltline. Here's a live look right now. Madison officers say they responded to several crashes and slide-offs overnight. They say ice formed on the road after yesterday's snowfall, which caused cars to slide. Officers want to warn all drivers all roads are still icy and will continue to stay that way as temperatures remain well below freezing. It has been almost 5 months since severe flooding forced Gilda's out of their clubhouse in Middleton, and now they have an official reopening date set. Gilda's Clubhouse has been serving those with cancer in the community for almost 10 years. This past summer, the flooding in Middleton left them with 10 feet of water in their basement. Everything in that basement ended up a total loss for the nonprofit, and they had to close while they rebuilt. But starting March 4th, that space will be open once again. That same day, there's another exciting opening for foodies. Portillo's says it will be opening its new Madison location on March 4th. The company announced last April it was coming to Madison. Construction on that Easttown Boulevard site started in July. The Chicago-born chain is known for its hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, and chocolate cake. The Madison location says it will also be serving a Wisconsin exclusive, the Badger Brat. That sounds pretty good. Well, all of Dane County's snowmobile trails are open this weekend, and this is the first time there has ever been at least 6 inches of snow and steady below freezing temperatures to open them this season. County leaders warn not all trails have been groomed, so there could be some uneven terrain, snow-covered and icy sections, and the potential for open water near marshes and waterways. 7:32 right now, and those snowmobile trails are only going to get even more powder out there, Chris.
Yeah, there is more powder, and even though temperatures are somewhat 10 degrees warmer than they were this time yesterday, 14 degrees warmer in the Dells, there's no melting out there because we are certainly well below zero. Lots of sunshine right now, but the temperature 11 degrees below zero right now. Winds out of the west and northwest at 5 miles per hour. Other temperatures are still well below zero, depending on where you are. 13 below in Janesville, 8 below in the Dells. Camp Douglas at 17 below, Watoma, Westfield at 14 below. We're all below zero, no matter how you want to slice it. Now, here's the deal. Those winter storm warnings do come into effect at 6 o'clock tonight throughout 6 o'clock on Monday. We're going to have those winter storm warnings for everyone in the viewing area, and I do believe that everyone in our area will likely see at least 6 inches of snow, and then some of us are going to see a lot more than that. But the snowfall ranges will range from 6 to 12 inches of snow. We're also going to be talking about winds that will blow and drift that snow, creating near blizzard conditions at times. It won't be a blizzard, but near blizzard conditions at times. Alert days continue next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for wind chills. We could see wind chills around -55 or colder. By the way, the all-time coldest wind chill in Madison ever recorded was 54 degrees below zero. So we could shatter some records here, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. It is 7:33 right now. We've all had those teachers who tell us hard work really pays off, and that's the motto for one Partyville music man. Our Charlotte DeLeste introduces us to this month's top-notch teacher.
And every school deserves this. Every school needs something like this.
This is where the Partyville Middle and High School bands will play come May in a brand spanking new performing arts auditorium.
Concerts in the gym is kind of like asking the basketball team to go play in the parking lot.
And a 1, 2, ready, and.
The gym is where they play now, under the direction of Dan Evans. Dan picked up the tuba in the 6th grade, which eventually led him to play with the National Guard Band and at UW-Madison under Mike Leckrone.
The best friends in the world came from my involvement in music.
Forming relationships through music hasn't changed a bit in his 17 years of teaching.
When you have a teacher or a student that is with you every day for, 7, 8 years or whatever it may be, that can really foster those relationships.
And when it comes to playing together, Dan says his students have what it takes to bring those musical notes to life.
To be a good musician, it takes a lot of emotion. Anybody can play notes eventually. They can play rhythms, they can play loud, they can play soft, but the best music you hear or the best musicians you hear and songs you hear are because of the people putting their emotion.
Considering that he's had many of these high school musicians since the 5th grade, there's no doubt respect is a virtue played out in every practice.
It's something we have to demand, you know, like especially I feel that this is a team environment. Everybody needs to pull their own weight, but we can't accomplish things if we don't respect each other.
But just like a piece of music, the days of playing together as a group and in this gym will come to an end. But not if Dan has anything to say about it.
I always say, their senior year when they graduate, I wish I could just flunk them all and just keep them here because, especially by their senior year, they've just made it, they'll come up to me and say, "You've made a big impact on me," but I don't think they quite fully understand how they impact me as well.
Charlotte Celeste reporting. Congratulations to Dan. The first concert at the new Performing Arts Auditorium will be at the beginning of May. And if you know a top-notch teacher, you can nominate him or her at channel3000.com under the Education tab. 7:26 right now, or 7:36 rather, getting lean in 2019. We've been checking in with you all month long on how your New Year's resolutions are going. And this morning, Mooyah Burger is here with how you can enjoy some delicious comfort food while still sticking to your healthy habits. Keep watching News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Temperatures at 11 degrees below zero this morning. Wind chills at -23 here in town. Those wind chills will get better as we go throughout the day, though. Here's the deal. We're going to go from -7 towards -2 throughout the morning, eventually topping out around 6 degrees this afternoon. Attention then turning to the approaching winter storm. Winter storm warnings in effect. I'll have those details coming up.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, it is the last weekend in January, so it's time for one final check on how your New Year's resolutions are going. Josh from Muya Burger is here with some healthy options for dining out or for making at home. Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
So obviously, burgers are one of the big favorites around here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So how do we keep them healthy?
Yeah, so biggest thing you can do is convert it to what we call our ice burger. Replace one of our buns for wrapped in lettuce. I got a couple great options here for you, but any of our burgers you can make into an ice burger, just substituting the bun for our lettuce wrap.
And sometimes those buns can be actually the most calorie-filled part of the burger, right?
You bet, yeah. They pack a punch in the calories. Tasty, but when you're looking a little bit lighter fare, go with the ice burger. So, yeah, I got a couple different options here for you. I can kind of run through. Our first two over this way is, first one is our lean green. That's our all-natural Jennie-O turkey burger, 93% lean, so you save a little calories there. Very delicious, we season well. It's got avocado, so nice healthy fat. It's got our Swiss cheese, a little bit lighter cheese for you, calorie-wise as well, and then our barbecue sauce for a little flavor. And then we've got our farmer's favorite here. That's our black bean veggie burger with Morningstar Farms brings that to us. Swiss cheese as well, avocado, spicy ranch for that flavor, and then tomato, keeping it healthy. So a lot of good options there. And then kind of our other three are kind of your lifestyles. You know, some people are doing, the keto, the Whole30, the paleo. We've got options for all three of those. You know, our first one, we have our keto burger here, Whole30, keeping it all. You know, we cut all of our veggies. You know, we have certified Angus beef, so all natural, good. And then we also have our paleo, so the double burger. A little extra on the protein, so very good.
Nice to have some options, and I think one of the things too, we were always nervous to switch over to turkey burger in our house, but once we did, it's really about all of the seasoning and the stuff you put on top of it, right?
100%. And we season with our Muya seasoning, make sure of salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, really good balance. Really brings a lot of flavor to our burgers and our turkey burger specifically. I eat our turkey burger almost every day because it's just a little bit healthier and it's really good. And now my cheat days I get that double burger with the buns. So.
And what nice thing is, like, you have so many different options that you can change up the flavor every day, so it doesn't feel like you're eating the same thing all the time.
Definitely, we have a lot of different veggies. You know, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, jalapenos for a little spice. You know, avocado, bacon. So kind of a lot of whatever you're looking for, we've got for you. And then if you want your cheat day, we've got our buns. We've got a potato bun, our multigrain wheat, and we also have a gluten-free option for anybody who doesn't want the lettuce wrap but still wants gluten-free. We got a gluten-free bun. So
I know it's always good, getting it at the restaurant. What kind of tips do you have for people making it at home? Because it never seems to be the same making it at home.
You know what? The biggest thing, like you alluded to, is seasoning. Make sure you season your burgers. I mean, that's going to really bring a lot of flavor out in the beef or the turkey or whatever you're doing. And then have a lot of fresh veggies. If you can cut them, in the morning before the game starts, then set them all up and people can kind of go through, build their own throughout the game. Really makes things easy for you and for your guests. So,
all right. Well, I know you guys have a busy day, Super Bowl Sunday coming up. If people are interested in maybe reaching out to you, what can they do?
Yeah, they can swing by any of our locations. We have one in Fitchburg by the Super Target, one downtown on State Street, and then we're going to be opening one here in March over in Sun Prairie. So they can swing by and give us a call. They can order online. We do some catering options if they're looking for some catering options. And we also do a little delivery through a couple different carriers. So a lot of options to get us, so come on by.
All right, Josh. Well, thank you. Love your name. Jay squared up here this morning.
That's not bad.
All right, thanks for coming in. Well, it is another cold start as we await our next major winter storm this morning. All is quiet out there right now as we take a live look outside. You can see the steam billowing up in downtown. Chris has the latest snow track and more on those extreme cold temperatures behind it coming up in his forecast. But first, let's look who's 3 today. Happy birthday to, we'll be right back after this.
We do have winter storm warnings for everyone in the viewing area. Really, that is all of south central Wisconsin throughout parts of northern Illinois as well. That's going to go from 6 o'clock tonight and until 6 o'clock on Monday. Now, the snow will come to an end before 6 o'clock on Monday, but then it's gusty winds. It's going to create blowing snow, so travel will be hazardous throughout Monday evening as well. That winter storm warning continues back through the Twin Cities, up towards Fargo, and then just to the west of that, you do have blizzard warnings. Let that be a testament to some of the wind that we are going to have with this system. Now, we're tracking it beginning to develop already across parts of the high plains. A lot of this is not in the United States yet. In fact, the actual center of low pressure with the system is still over Canada, but expect this radar to become more impressive, especially as we move into the late evening and overnight hours. The snow is essentially going to pivot across the upper Midwest, putting Madison and parts of central Wisconsin and some of the heaviest snow that's going to be associated with it. Now let's start with temperatures outside right now. 11 degrees below zero. Winds out of the west and northwest at 5 miles per hour. So yes, there is a little bit of a wind chill there. It's not terrible though compared to what's coming down the pike. But temperatures elsewhere are at 13 below as we go towards Janesville. Lone Rock at 20 below. Same for Boscobel. 27 below as you work your way up towards Black River Falls. Things will get better towards the afternoon. By lunchtime, we're talking highs 1 degree above zero. We'll top out around 4 to 6 degrees today, but then that cloud cover is going to be on the increase. We'll see that snow starting to move in as we head into the evening as well. In fact, a lot of the heaviest snow with snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour will come down between midnight and then during that morning rush hour tomorrow. This is heavy snow that's going to be falling during that time, but it's also going to be light and fluffy. It'll blow around in the wind as well. By the time we get you towards the late morning and towards lunchtime, things will begin to diminish to moderate snow before eventually moving out, especially as we head towards the afternoon and evening. When all is said and done, 8 to 12 inches of snow is possible from Madison up towards the north, back towards the south and west, 6 to 10 inches of snow. It's still going to snow pretty hard, but it's going to be warmer there, so you're going to have a harder time getting that snow to accumulate. Towards the lake shore, some lake enhancement will help the snowfall push beyond a foot, perhaps maybe upwards of 18 inches of snow is possible for some folks. Then comes the wind. Tomorrow morning, wind gusts anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. That's going to create difficult travel conditions as well. As the snow begins to wind down, snow or winds upwards of 30 to 35 miles per hour when it comes towards those gusts. So that is certainly going to create more blowing snow. Then it's the wind chills, especially by Wednesday morning, where you could get frostbite in as quick as 5 minutes if you're outside. That cold continues into Thursday morning as well, where frostbite could set in within 5 to 10 minutes of being outside. So we are certainly cold as we go through the next several days, folks. 4 alert days in our forecast. And then the temperatures finally begin to rebound so much to where it's going to feel good with temperatures in the teens and 20s by the time we get you towards next weekend and early next week, Josh.
Oh, that forecast. Now we're live on Instagram right now, and everyone's like, it's got to be so cold in Wisconsin.
I know. This is some of the cold that we have not seen around here in 20 years, and the record coldest ever wind chill is 54 degrees below zero. We could break that record.
Good excuse to stay inside, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, in sports this morning, Ethan Happ is continuing to write history in the books of the Badgers men's basketball program after another big win for the team over Northwestern yesterday. After a slow start against the Wildcats, Happ got his own rebound to earn himself a triple-double, his second of the season. After the Badgers' 62-46 win, Wildcats head coach Chris Collins called Happ a nightmare to play against. Next up, Wisconsin heads to Nebraska on Tuesday. 7:51 right now. Stick with News 3 for more complete team coverage and all things weather. We'll have teams out on the roads both tonight and tomorrow morning. Chris and I will be up early tomorrow morning doing that. We'll be checking on those conditions ahead of your Monday morning commute. But first this morning, he has a dream. We'll meet the 14-year-old captivated by the wise words of Dr. King. How he's now putting a modern twist on the civil rights icon's message when News 3 This Morning Sunday continues. It is 7:54. A North Carolina teenager is getting nationwide attention for using rap to spread a positive message. The 14-year-old performed at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. commemorative service in Atlanta.
Ray Emanuel tells us how his music is inspired by Dr. King's dream.
Why can't everybody just love the kind that was exemplified and sent from up above?
Rapper Ray Emanuel stands out not just because of his age,
just want to spread a message that everybody should hear,
but because of his message.
We should build each other up instead of tear each other down. I feel like I'm different because come around, I really try to make an effort. I'm on a mission to give folks hope, to put out a positive message to the people. I'm counting on my blessings.
The 14-year-old has been perfecting his rhymes since he started writing poetry when he was 7. Rap followed soon after that.
Superhero went okay, but I got an S on my chest. Striving to be the best on a journey learning lessons.
He shares his music on Instagram.
Once I caught a lot of attention, I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right thing with it. Yeah. And spreading a positive message in a way to drown out all the other negative music that I feel reaches younger generations, and then it's not really the best influence.
Ray, what you got for me?
I got something for you today.
Let's do it, man.
His approach has won the support of other artists and celebrities, like Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook.
I'm not the one you should test with. Yeah.
Yeah.
The King Center also took notice and invited Ray Emanuel to perform during this year's annual service commemorating the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Dr. Venice King said that my music was very inspiring to her, which meant a lot to me, being that her father was one of the most inspirational men, like, ever. If they don't like me, that's okay. Regardless, I'ma still be right. He was an activist, he was a pastor. I, of course, write rap music, but I feel that through writing music, I want to spread the same message and carry on his legacy. Success is better than revenge. The goal isn't to make him salty in the first place. Living in the worst way, some people are, but you have to realize who you really are. Even though life beat us up, left me with a black eye. Whatever you do, just know who you are. Talk to God or whatever you believe in. 2-step, 4-step, arithmetic sequence. It feel like I'm dreaming.
Wow, impressive.
I know, and some powerful lyrics there, and I love it because I always feel like if there's any way to spread light and joy, no matter what it is you're doing, do it.
Now wrap that forecast.
I can't do that one, no. But hey, I can at least sound joyful while we talk about heavy snow moving in later on tonight. Yeah, I know. But heavy snow's moving in tonight. We're looking at 6 to 12 inches area wide, followed by some cold that we have not seen since the 80s, perhaps breaking some wind chill records by Wednesday morning.
All right, stay with News 3 for more complete coverage. Make it a great day, everyone. Stay safe.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.